Hey team, it's time for an Early Career Designer's Portfolio Review. I'm Megan Thomas, and I'm a senior UX designer with almost 10 years of experience in enterprise software design. I've taught and mentored over 300 early career designers through UC Berkeley's UX UI Design Bootcamp. In this video, I'm going to review an early career designer's portfolio and share my thoughts as a senior designer. My goal is to provide actionable feedback to help them succeed as they look for a job in the UX industry. Join me for a stream of consciousness walkthrough as I assess one of their case studies. Remember, mine is just one opinion. Make sure to get multiple perspectives before making any changes. All right, let's dive into the review and learn together. Hello, hello, hello. What am I today? I'm excited, obviously. I'm excited for two reasons. One, because I'm reviewing Anushka's portfolio, and two, because do you know that feeling? Hold on. Do you know that feeling when you see somebody and you're like, does this person know that we're about to be friends? Because deal with it, we're friends. Now, that happens pretty frequently for me because I genuinely like people. I like to pretend that I don't, but really and truly, I like people, and I like to see people for who they are. And Anushka, I'm vibing with you already. I just need you to know that. I'm just putting this out here into the universe. We're going to be friends. Second thing, I just distracted myself. I'm excited for another reason, not only because Anushka's portfolio seems really cool and also Anushka seems really cool in general, but also because I am showing up to you very authentically today. I have not washed my hair. I put this on because I am freezing cold today, and I went for a walk outside and I saw two beautiful hummingbirds. And for some inexplicable reason, this vine out back of my house in the backyard has grown a few flowers. And I'm like, y'all, it is December. It is literally mid-December. And there are these beautiful purple flowers poking through. And it just brought me so much joy today. And I wanted to share that with you. I also wanted to be like, I feel like I'm coming off as like your crazy Aunt Martha, like the one that has the good cookies, if you know what I'm saying. That was not even a wink. That was just a grimace at you. All right. So I'm doing this portfolio review earlier in the day, clearly while I still have a ton of energy. You've been getting portfolio reviews from me that are the last thing I do of the day because I keep putting, obviously I have a day job and I am paid to put things at the top of the pile. But today I really felt the urge to just take a quick break and bring the energy while I have it instead of stumbling over my words. I mean, no promises. I'm still going to stumble over my words because me, but hopefully this is more fun and energetic than the last couple have been. And sincere apologies to everybody whose portfolio came before today, because I really feel like I've been dragging towards the end of the day. I don't know if anybody else feels that, but doing a midday walk and then maybe a midday nap has also been really helpful. Anywho, all right, we're here today with Anushka Garg. I think I'm getting that right. I think I only have your first name that you recorded how to pronounce it, which I really appreciate. Thank you. I vibed with Anushka pretty much right away, mostly because I clicked over to her about page first. So I love that we're introducing ourselves as available for work. This is honestly super precious. I think it's lovely. And you say, I design fun experiences for my users. Hey, I'm Anushka Garg, a product UX designer with a background in tech. I call India my home, and I like to turn great ideas into fun and useful products. I already really like it. So I'm going to take you over. So I didn't see anything else on the portfolio before I clicked over. Again, just following my instinct, allowing my intuition to take me where I need to go. And I clicked over to about, and I love this, a logical thinker with a creative heart. And then I saw, this is precious. I didn't even notice the title, My Resume. I just really like the use of fig jam in order to kind of create a little collage of things that make you, you. And that is fantastic. So like +1, heck yeah. You went to DevFest. You love potatoes and tomatoes since birth. Girl, same. Potatoes mostly. Tomatoes I had to grow into that. But this is awesome. Also love that you describe, how did I get into design? This is the part where I know we vibe. You were pursuing, I'm going to assume that a BTech is like a bachelor's in technology, something like that, something along those lines. It sounds like you went to an advanced degree program. And then during a semester project, I fell for the design and usability aspect more than the technical part. That is exactly what I've said. I was a good front-end developer. I was good enough, and I really obsessed over like, oh, is this shade or is it that shade? Does it have this 4 pixels of shadow? Like it got bananas. I got really overly technical about it, and I loved it. But I really loved the idea of, wait a minute. So I made that button, and you really liked how I just remember one button, it was a hover effect, and like this bottom bar would kind of show up. It was material design 1, if you recall, just called material design. It was so interesting. And then the delight that I would see on people's faces as they interacted with things that I had created or built, I really loved how it felt to watch people make these decisions and watch that play out on their face, and then get excited about how I helped them or enabled them or prodded them or encouraged them with my design to do something that the business needed them to do. So I totally get that. Also love that what you like about being a UX designer is business design and tech. Amen to that. So all of this, I'm already like, yes, yes, yes. And you've got some experience. You were a UX design intern. You were a UX designer freelance. You've done a graphic design intern. Like, you've got all the stuff. All right. So the BTech in computer science, UX design fellow, like, you've done all of this. So you are, sure, an early career designer. I wouldn't even call you a junior designer. You're well into the beginning of your career. So that's fantastic. All right. So let's take a look at your work. All right. Again, still love this. Available for work. Now I'm curious what it's going to say when you're not. All right. Let's take a look. You've got Tura, trip planning app, designing an experience for leisure travelers to discover attractions and create trip itineraries. Ziggle, designing to help young adults set and achieve goals. UX design internship, your experience at, that's a case study. An OPD consultation platform for doctors, designing a platform for doctors to conduct OPD, I wonder what that means. Consultations using AI-based recommendation system for diagnosis and treatment. I'd be curious to know what that is. And if I'm not in the medical industry, how am I, as a hiring manager or a recruiter, supposed to know what that is? You've also got a couple things that are in progress. All right, so we've got 4 things to choose from. Me personally, I'm not going to totally get very excited about a trip planning app, and that is strictly because I've just seen so many trip planning apps, but this seems really, really interesting. So you've got some an AI thing here. You've got a design internship. I kind of want to find that out, but this doesn't lead me to think that it's a project, simply a business that you worked for. So I honestly wasn't expecting that to be clickable. So if there was a project there, maybe we can add like a visual to make it seem more like these. So I'm most interested in Ziggle because this is just a different concept and it looks like a mobile app. It looks like it could be really cool. Let's check it out. Is that supposed to be a picture? I'm like wondering. I didn't mean to see page source. I'm wondering if this is supposed to be. Oh, it's a visual. Okay. Making sure. Oh. Hold on. So that was interesting. Let me inspect that again. So this somehow gets crammed literally into a 1-line visual when it's at a full screen width, but when it's not at full screen, it moves above it. So first of all, I didn't know you could do that with Framer by literally shifting the items in the DOM, in the document object model. That's what we're seeing here on the screen. And I didn't know you could do that. So now I'm very interested in finding out what's going on here. So let me refresh this. This is what it looks like on mobile. Cool. Looks responsive. That's cool. Let's tip it over to the side. All right. I still see the image here. No clicky. That's fine. iPad Pro. All right. Visual. All right, so it's showing up most of the time. You must have a media query that is compressing it somehow when you don't mean for it to, and it's slipping it directly above your title. So that's just something to watch out for. I would maybe not even have noticed it, except I'm the annoying person that will find an extra space in between sentences. So like maybe a little too attention to detail. But I was wondering why you didn't have a picture at the top of the portfolio case study. So maybe you've got a broken image here. Just check that out. All right. Designing to help young adults set and achieve goals. Is that what we're designing? Or are you designing an app to help young adults set and achieve goals? So designing is what we're doing. We want to help them set and achieve goals, and that's our goal with this project. So maybe make that a tiny bit more clear. What are we designing? Ziggle is a mobile app that helps young adults set, track, and achieve their goals while staying accountable to their progress with the help of a buddy. Oh, so I immediately want to come bring that back up here. So I'm curious, we're definitely going to see what else is down here, but I'm curious if we can change that headline to designing a better buddy system to help young adults set and achieve goals, maybe a little bit more clear. It is super good to see that you have this as a solo project. So this is a really good example of just your work. I think what I'd love to see, since you have tools used, I'd love to know what methods you used. This is always so interesting to me and I think I would swear like one person, okay, maybe a few people decided, I'm going to put this in my portfolio, and now everyone does it, and I don't even know why. I don't know what value it brings. More important than the tools that you use are the methods that you apply and why. All right, so we've got Buddy Connect. All right, so we've got the visual, but this is not, I don't have a lot of context for this. It's just a GIF. This would probably be way more useful if you put it at the top of your portfolio so people can get a sense for what this is. Maybe put it beside this information right here. So instead of this cartoon visual that is not showing up on desktop, maybe put this GIF up here to the left or to the right. And then you're designing a better buddy system to help young adults set and achieve goals. Very compelling. Talk about the type and duration, the tools used or the methods applied, and then the introduction, and then let's get into the case study. This is good so far, though. Did you know, I love that, did you know that only 20% of people set goals, but only 30% of them are able to achieve them? Okay, so did you know only 20% of people set goals? Question mark, and then say, and only 30% of those people are able to achieve them. So you could even give me a visual on that. First of all, you've got a lot of text over here going all the way to the right. So maybe we can break that up and make that line length just a little bit easier to process and bring it over to the left and add a visual. So maybe if we have 100, little people icons, right? Since we show how many out of 100. So maybe we say 20% of them, 20 out of 100, but then we identify who are the 30% of people. So that's only 6 people out of 100. And I think that would be a better visual that would help convey this information. I encountered this fact in a research article by Reliable Plant. I would link to it if I could. This made me draw a correlation to what I've observed among my friends and peers. Many have a practice to set daily goals, but they fail to achieve them successfully. They either put them off due to losing interest or make excuses to not do them at the time. This results in constant procrastination, delay in tasks, and demotivates the person. Absolutely it does. First of all, you've clearly had someone come review this, or your writing and English proficiency is amazing. Because typically I don't see people who have gone through and edited this for accuracy. So really good job. How can we help young adults set and achieve goals while staying accountable to their progress? Shit, I forgot to work on my goal today. How do I track my progress every day? There's so many things I want to do. How do I manage? I love that you've got the emoji visual with these quotes that help me understand that these are people, maybe friends of yours, that you see setting goals, but not completing them. I need someone to nag me like my mom to complete my work. Oh, do you though? I know they would have said that, but do they though? Solution, Ziggle. Set, track, and achieve your goals while staying accountable with the help of a buddy. I would make solution Ziggle better. I know you've got it up here because you've got the problem, but because this is now centered and it doesn't align the same, it didn't process this eyebrow text or eyebrow font size is a little difficult. I would probably increase the font size of that just to make sure people know this is the problem we're trying to solve. And then this is the solution we've come up with. I would typically recommend that you only use one GIF, visible or GIF, whatever, visible at a single time on a screen. So I love this. This is get a buddy to help you connect and chat with other users to help you stay accountable. I would keep only one of these beside this context and another one beside this context. This is helpful though. So just show one at a time. Otherwise, it's just really a lot of cognitive load. And since we don't have any way to stop these GIFs from repeating over and over again, it can get it's a little rough on the cognitive load for people who might have ADHD or other issues where this is just too much information. Gamify your experience, a reward system to engage you, customizable profile avatars, an in-app calendar for daily schedule. Okay, this definitely we should either keep this as a clickable experience or just show a gamifying reward system, show a few screens, but not 3 GIFs in a row. This is too much. It's too much information. And also I can't tell if these are all the same height. It feels like this is first, second, and third place based on where I'm perceiving the top of them start. So double check your sizes. And if that's what you intend to express, that's fine. But this is, it's too much happening all at once. And it's really hard for even me to stay focused on what I am trying to review. So a gamifying reward system, I would rather just see one plain screen, not a GIF. Choose an avatar, not a GIF, and then a calendar to view your daily tasks. That would be super helpful. All right, the process. White paper research. I started with scouring the internet, mainly Google Scholar, to conduct white paper research on the topic. We would also consider that bench research. That's something you could say, or secondary research. Bench research, I believe, I'm not going to dive too far into that. That's not my wheelhouse, but I'm pretty sure that they're very similar. But not everything has to be from like a white paper, a published journal, but it could be if that's what you specifically were looking for. So maybe you're calling that out here in a little bit. My objective was to find facts and evidence, highlighting the problem as well as some possible solutions to the problem. Fortunately, I found a study by the Dominican University with several interesting insights. People who wrote goals down, made a plan, and enlisted friends to help them by sending regular progress reports succeeded closer to 75% of the time. The more specific your goals are, the more motivated you become. Creating short-term tasks that fit into larger long-term goals helps a lot, and accountability matters. I would say so you said you found several interesting insights. It feels like this is insight number 1, this is insight number 2, and this is insight number 3, but you've included them like in a different format. Feels like maybe you could do 1, 2, and 3 across the center and then write it down, be specific, stay accountable are the headlines that you would say, and then add a little bit of context below each of them. It could be a little bit more clear about what you learned from that research. Analyzing the market and competitors. Yes, it's a very crowded market. Looking at the popular players within the space. So these don't have titles. I would definitely want to add some alt text to make sure that those images come through the way you intend. But I also would love to know, like, what are the titles of these apps that people are using, just so I know if I wanted to validate your research, if I wanted to be like, did she actually get that information? I would want to do that. But I love that you've broken it down into value proposition, features, app experience, strengths, weaknesses, and design aspects. I bet this is an image. Is it an image? Let me see. It's an image. All right. So It's a large enough size to read. It's probably a little tough to view on mobile, though. If I were to move this to iPhone Protein 14 Pro Max, the 14, oh my God, never mind. Okay, so if someone's looking at this, now I'm not saying a hiring manager or a recruiter is likely to be on their phone, but I'm not saying that they might not be. Typically, I would expect them to be on a desktop because if they're looking at portfolios, we know that portfolios are typically, the larger the better. We're showing our visuals. So no expectation for it to be responsive, but you might want to make it so that if you tap on the image, it will open in a new tab so that people can kind of zoom in and get to view what they want to. More importantly, what did you learn? You've got these things, these are highlights, but what did conducting this competitive analysis tell you about the next person? Did we find out information about what you're planning to do with your design, things that you definitely want to include as features that you definitely don't want to include? What did doing this work tell you? See, let's identify the users. Who are my users? Young adults age 18 to 25. College students and fresh graduates looking to start their career. Known for their energy, enthusiasm, and a desire to achieve personal and professional goals. What do my users think? Plus key insights. All right, so interviews with 5 participants revealed a common theme of delay due to procrastination and short-term gratification. Yes, I conducted semi-structured interviews with target users to validate my research findings and further understand how people currently set goals, their motivations, and challenges. We've really got really long lines here. Like I'm struggling to keep up with it. I would probably drop anything I can down to a new line. So I concluded 3 key insights. Short-term achievements delight users and makes them strive for more. Having a like-minded buddy by their side helps them stay motivated. Dividing a goal into short-term tasks can make it less overwhelming. Fantastic. So we've created an empathy map for Taylor, a 22-year-old master's student who's also working part-time in a marketing company. This is interesting, but again, I want to make sure, like, what is the reason you created this empathy map? So you're doing it because it's a method that you're using to try to understand and put yourself in the shoes of the users that you're designing for. But what did it tell you? Tied into these key insights that you identified from your user interviews, what are the important parts of this empathy map? What did you remember later while you were deep in the 7th iteration of your low fidelity or high fidelity wireframes? What did you remember and reach back for? Tell me more about that. It doesn't have to be long, but help me understand why you included this in the case study. Same with a storyboard. 5 steps winning formula, set smart goals. Okay, this is actually better than typical. Most of the time, it starts with, I have a problem. I guess I'm going to go find an app. And then the final screen is like, I found the app. I am suddenly successful. That's not the case. So you've actually got kind of a user scenario. Set smart goals, write them down, break them down, find an accountability partner, and visualize achieving them. I love all of this. Okay. Designing Ziggle. It's such a silly name. I love it. Getting a clear and intuitive view of the structure of the app. So from my research and requirements observed, thanks to empathy mapping. Okay, requirements observed thanks to empathy mapping. What were those requirements that led you to create this structure? That's the connector that I want to see between that empathy map and what you've got here. I created a basic structure of how Ziggle is going to look and function. The aim was to provide users with an easy to navigate and relatable app with all the required features. So this must be the home page. So this is just the app in general. This is the menu. Home, calendar, add, Buddy Connect, and profile. So this sounds, all right, this is a navigation. So once we I'm going to have to visualize this. So if I load the app, these are the options that I should see. I'm wondering if this is like your navigation bar across the bottom, the tab bar, I guess we want to call it, material design. So at the home page, is that your dashboard? Goals, tasks. I'm not totally certain I understand this structure right here. So let me see if I have any more questions and come back to that. Sketching out the first visuals of the idea using FigJam, account setup, app dashboard. See, now this is actually surprising. Half the time, probably more than half the time, I do these portfolio reviews. I don't love seeing the early sketches because they honestly feel a little bit fake. It's like people go, oh, I'm supposed to have sketches, and they go create some crappy version of a sketch, which is something I have also done when I thought I had to include sketches in my projects. You don't. This is actually accurate according to what I think you might have actually done. This is interesting to me. It reverberates throughout my brain when I have seen, who's that? Debbie Levitt do a review, and she said, if you're putting onboarding screens in your app when you're first building it, it tells me that you're an early career designer because you don't know that those onboarding screens are typically because your onboarding is actually difficult to accomplish. So we don't actually need onboarding screens. There's no requirement. I don't know why a lot of people have them. I mean, I do know why. I don't know why people think it is a requirement for an app. It's not. That's okay. But I love that you paid attention to, I know that we might need to convey some information, and at least you created them. That's cool. Individual tasks, checkpoints, part of some goal, calendar, profile. This is actually really interesting. New goal, new task, X goes to this. This is fun. These are actually choose pre-made customized avatars, decrease users' cognitive load, empowers visual anonymity. Heading for goal, maybe related illustrations. Okay, got it. After, I can't read that. Task formed, after formed, something like that. Does this require an illustration? I'm actually loving this. This is actually something I enjoy seeing, not just like 4 screens of the onboarding process, but your notes, your thought process. What did you come back to? What did you go, did that make sense to me? Maybe I need to make sure it makes sense. It's more sense to me. This is great. And it's funny because typically I would ask for more context, but this makes sense. I'm excited. This is really cool. Lo-fi prototype for first round of usability testing before moving on to hi-fi design. Well, I mean, obviously we're not going to set up a sketchy app. We might. Decided to test with real users. This is a lot of good. Oh man, let me open that image in a new tab. This is another, it's not bigger. I really wanted to zoom in on it. There are some really cool features here, and it looks like you've done some really thorough work. All right, I'm willing to say keep scrolling. So low fidelity prototype, gather insights on user behavior, interaction, and feedback for further improvement. No problem. Tell me more about, okay, so you didn't mention 3 major improvements from the insights gathered during testing. So I want to know, what is your usability testing that you did? It doesn't need to be more than a line, but I would love to know, did you create user task flows? Did you do this remote moderated? Were you online with someone and they clicked through it? Or did you have it on like Maze where they can click through it themselves? Was it first click testing where you're finding out, hey, where would you click if you wanted to add a new task, or if you wanted to find a buddy? What would you do? So you're doing like user validation. So I'm very curious what testing you did do. Removing social logins. Decision was done to enforce anonymity and to encourage users to establish their own identity out of their social circle. Interesting. Okay. I'm kind of curious about why, but I'm going to keep going on. This is really neat. Making reminders more humane and motivational. Adding personalized messages from the assigned goal buddy to remind users about their tasks and cheer them up. Promotes a relationship of trust and familiarity between users. Do send the evidence. Okay. Status filter for goals and tasks. This decision was done to enforce anonymity out of their social circles and give a chance for users to establish their own identity with customized avatar related to the app's theme. Status filter. I feel like this was actually the description for number 1. Status filter. I feel like your description is actually like helping people find the information that they need faster, so allowing them to only view the information that they need. So give me a better description here that's more aligned with the title. High fidelity design. This looks really good. Sign up and onboarding, set and achieve your goals and tasks, manage and track your progress, hold yourself accountable with a buddy. Log in. Hey Jane, choose an avatar. Goals and tasks and calendar. Maybe describe a little bit of what they're seeing. It feels pretty intuitive. I think I know what I'm looking at, goals and tasks, but maybe a little bit of information down here to say on this screen, Jane should click on completed. So tasks. It looks like they clicked on view all to get to here. And then goals. And then goals, they would have clicked here to go to this page. And then calendar, they'd probably click here. Yeah, give me a little bit of context so that I know what I'm looking at and maybe how this flow was experienced. Why would, who's our user? Why would Taylor, is that her name, Taylor? Did I get that right? Let's find out. Taylor, I was correct. All right, find out. Tell me a little bit about why Taylor would be seeing this screen and what they're expected to do. Tie it back in with that storytelling and tell me about Taylor's experience. Buddy discover and buddy chat, same here. These all look absolutely beautiful. These are really, really solid UI designs. We've got a style guide. I mean, honestly, you could take this and put a whole new UI case study together to say, this is what I decided on all of these, because otherwise I feel like I'm just going to get the information without any of the context for why you made these decisions. So I would even consider, if you feel like it, creating here's why I'm a really good UI designer, and keep that as its own case study. Final takeaways. Saves a lot of time to conduct a usability study. This is literally why it's so important to do usability testing and save developer time and designer time. I was worried whether users would be able to understand my rough wireframes, but I was wrong. No wonder their assumptions were very different from reality. I got a lot of valuable feedback for my designs that helped me adjust and make improvements. For an app that helps users achieve their goals, it was important to understand their source of motivation and frustration. Creating an empathy map made it easier for me to visualize that and make sense of my user's situation. Personally, I'd love to know more because empathy maps aren't always useful, but that's helpful. I think the only way that this could be improved at the end is guiding someone to look at your next favorite case study. But this, Anushka, this was really, really delightful. I think you're going to have a couple of adjustments to make, but they are very, very minor. I really appreciated reviewing your portfolio, and I'm so excited to chat with you. We are definitely going to be friends. I know we're already connected on LinkedIn, but I'm super jazzed about your work, and I'm excited to see you succeed. Everyone else, thanks so much for joining me for this portfolio review. I really appreciate you. Please feel like subscribing. Please consider subscribing. I genuinely love doing this, and I can't wait to do another one tomorrow. I'm going to complete the entire month of December, and I'm not going to miss a day. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.